Just before this video starts, I am currently on medication for an eye infection and some nausea, so if anything I say sounds loopy, please forgive me. The best forms of musical adaptations. Hi, I'm Booky. I like to watch musicals, listen to musicals. I write musical essays twice a month if I can. And I shall be posting opinion pieces and lifestyle things. So hit subscribe if you like that sort of stuff. Today we're going to talk about the best forms of musical adaptations. In my opinion, the best format of musical adaptation would be professionally shot recordings of the stage performances. I prefer this form because I believe that stage performances have a certain form of magic to them. Instead of being adapted for the screen in a movie format that is just full of props that you can see, stage performances utilize the stage in order to make the audience see and interpret the stage as the setting. Some examples of these would be like Les Miserables, specifically the 25th anniversary stage performance. Mostly was set just the actors were in front of microphones and they just sang. But in the background on the screen behind them you had shots of locations, and so you could kind of tell where they were at that time. And there was a lot more emotion put in because the actors just had to portray in their voice what was going on, compared to in the movie, which came out in 2012, where the actors had a whole setting and they had all the special effects and things, so you could easily see what was going on. Another example is Love Never Dies, specifically the Australian cast performance that you can get on DVD. That was filmed at the Regent Theatre, and it was really good, in which it showed at least 3 different locations on one stage. Every time the stage rotated, it was a different spot. You had the hotel, you had the docks, you had the back of a hotel room. It was beautifully staged and the costuming was lovely, and I just like it. For some performances, specifically musicals that came out before the turn of the century, the movie versions were really good because the special effects still meant that the actors had to portray feelings in their emotions. In movies that came out post turn of the century, the use of special effects is taken for granted, and it makes it harder to portray proper acting because there's so much special effects. So I feel like if we wanted to get the perfect form of musical adaptation, we should get professionally recorded films of the stage performance, like what has happened with Hamilton, because the stage performances are wonderful and then everybody gets to see it. The more stage performances that are recorded and shown in cinemas, the more chance that people would want to go see these stage performances in person. Theatre gets a better rap and a better business because people are going to the theatres to see the performances, compared to having completely different performances through film and movies, where people just see the film and they're like, oh, this is just a film, it's not going to be any different on the stage. Some exceptions to this would be movies like Chicago and The Last 5 Years. Chicago has a very specific form of showing you the specific dreamscapes in forms of change of costume and change of lighting and change of setting. Because it's in a movie, it's easier to show that. The same applies to The Last 5 Years, where anything that happens in the past is showcased through a change of hairstyle and a change of setting, and in some cases a change of lighting. It makes it easier to understand what is going on if your chronology has a different form of lighting and staging. Another movie musical adaptation that looked really good was In the Heights that came out earlier this year. It was impressive to see the cinematography and editing of that movie through the lens of a film camera compared to the stage. There's a lot more that could be done. Some movie musicals that don't make the cut would be Les Miserables. It's got too much movie setting, it takes you away from the story. And Little Shop of Horrors, which, despite having a great piece of cinematography and staging that makes you understand the story, it did cut some songs that made it difficult to understand some characters' motives. I think if you want to make a good movie musical adaptation, keep the songs. Because then all of the songs are there, all of your motives are there, and you still get a good look at the entire performance. If that is not possible, film the stage performance. It's happened before. I can name, off the top of my head, a number of musicals that have recorded stage performances that did really well. Like Miss Saigon, the 25th anniversary. That one was filmed and did really well. Phantom of the Opera 25th anniversary and Les Miserables 25th anniversary. Each of those also had a speech made by the creator of that musical to discuss what happened during that musical. It makes it more inclusive if you were to have a stage performance recorded, specifically an anniversary one, because then you can call up the creator, if the creator is still around, and then get them to say things to you about how they felt making the musical, what the musical was meaning like to them, their inspirations, things like that. Or musicals that are like the rock musicals, like Jesus Christ Superstar and Six and Chess the Musical. If we had recorded stage performances of those, which we do for Jesus Christ Superstar and Chess, then we get the feeling of actually being there and seeing it the way it's intended to be seen. If you were to make a musical about Six and make it a movie, you take away from the fact that it is intended to be performed to an audience. And if it is not performed to an audience, it doesn't have the same feel to it, because it isn't the same. Jesus Christ Superstar is a rock opera concert. It is performed as a rock musical and therefore should be recorded on stage. The same applies to Chess the Musical. While I believe that Chess the Musical would still be quite good as a movie, because it would help with some plot lines and things, it does sound better in concert because it has a bigger stage and a better way of being performed. Another thing in this video would be to discuss the fact that if you were to make a movie adaptation, I would like to see some of the original cast that was on stage in that adaptation. For most movies and musicals, people don't cast the same Broadway actors, and it confuses me because why? Why would you cast some people that can't necessarily sing to the range of the character that they're supposed to play? Why would you cast them in a movie that has a cult following? If you were to cast a stage actor in a role that is intended for a stage actor, you would get a better response from the audiences because the actor can actually sing, compared to lip-syncing to a track or something. It would save filmmakers a budget as well if they were to pay a person that is musically talented to act in a role that requires musical talent. Which brings me back to the entire purpose of this essay, which is, why do we not have as many professionally recorded Broadway performances of musicals? Why are they always being turned into movies years and years and years after they debut on stage? When did we go from having movie musicals that were actually good, such as Wizard of Oz and Singing in the Rain? When did we go from having those to having low-budget movie musicals like Cats and Into the Woods? Why can we not have a balance between the two? Make a movie musical of an original musical and have professionally shot recordings of musicals on stage that people like. My name is Booky. I make videos on musical opinions and lifestyle, and I hope to make some more videos on how I crochet things or sew things. If you like these ideas, please hit the like button, hit subscribe if you want to see more of me. I have my social media links in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.